All right, so how did you get on with that challenge? This should be quite simple because we've already done it once for the left dice, but it's important that you understand how it all links together, which is why I wanted you to complete the challenge. The first thing that we need to do is we've got a variable that's tracking the value for our left dice number, and it's updating it when the button is pressed so that it can display a new image in that image widget. Now, in order to do the same for the right dice, we're going to need to create a new variable. And we'll just call this right dice number because I'm not feeling too imaginative today. Now, once we've got our variable, then we can go about changing it to a random number when the flat button is pressed. Inside our on pressed, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say that our right dice number is going to equal to a number that's generated from a random number generator, and the specific type of number we want to generate is an integer, so a whole number. And we're going to set the max to 6, so we generate random numbers between 0 and 5, and then we'll just add 1 to any of those numbers to bring it up to 1 to 6, which matches with the dice numbers that we have in our images. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to update the place where we use that right dice number. Instead of pulling up the images/dice1.png, which is pretty much hard-coded, it's always going to be the first image shown, we're going to delete that one, and instead we're going to use a string interpolation to insert the right dice number inside there. And it's going to be inserted using that little $sign there that we saw previously. Now, all we have to do is to say that when the right dice number changes, we should update all the places where it's used. So in order to do that, we have to call that method called setState. And this simply says that this change in the right dice number's value is going to need to trigger a rebuild of our stateful widget so that the parts where it's used can update on the screen. Let's hit save, and for those changes to go through to our app, and let's test it by, we already know the left side works, and now if we click on the right side, it also works, and it gives us all the numbers that we could possibly want, and we now have 2 separate dice that we can roll on our dice app. Now, what if we wanted both dice to change when one of the buttons is pressed? So what if I wanted both of these buttons to update when I click on any one of those buttons? Here is your challenge. Try and get this behavior in your app. So pause the video and try to complete this challenge. And I'll share with you the solution in the next lesson.